Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. I want to give a double honor to the elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone who do rule well, and the citation of the hopeful elect. It's the brother Damawa from the GMS Cleveland branch coming back with a quick video. And as you can see, it says, stop being so thirsty for us, right? And so these Edomites is coming out telling you how the so-called black woman has been on their tip, right? Has been trying to get with these Edomites right behind closed doors. Okay, and this ain't nothing new, and this is one of the main reasons why you so-called black women, you are our enemies. You never been with us, right? Right? Half of the shit that goes on is your fault. The reason why we've been falling is your fault. All right? Through women became the beginning of sin. Okay? Women and women worshiping and basically letting a woman control a man, these are all a no-no in the eyes of the Heavenly Father. Right? So look, before I play this clip, matter of fact, let's play the clip first so it'll make more sense that way.
Salute. Before I get to playing this clip, you know it's bad when the Brads have to beat these Keishas off with a stick for them to make these type of videos. You know it's bad when Brad is saying, listen, you're being too thirsty. You know it's bad when Brad, look at this Brad right here. He looks like Snarf. And he's about to say, hey, listen, stop hitting me up. Stop being in my... And he looks like Snarf. For those that don't know what Snarf look like, this is Snarf right here. Yeah, looks just like him, right? Look just like Snarf. Looks just like him. And Snarf...
And these are the Edomites, man. And this is how you know that it's a spiritual battle, right? Because the so-called black woman... she deems herself above the so-called black man, but in actuality, what they are is they are trained victims, right? So-called black woman been taken over, right? It don't take much to take over a woman, right? They're going to go with whoever is going to extend their life, okay? When you're dealing with how it used to go and wars and things like that, all right? So they got a very fickle nature, all right? All right, but in this time frame, when the so-called black man is standing up, right, on his foot, right, by us putting back on our heritage, by us putting back on the order of things, the black women are becoming more and more envious of it, right, as just as well as the same as the so-called white man, okay, because as much as they are conquerors, right, they have been throughout the world winning all these wars. The so-called white man by nature, he's a fag, right? He's he doesn't see nothing wrong with things that the Lord put in order being out of order. Okay, he doesn't see nothing wrong with a woman controlling things and working. That's the way of the white man. All right, that's not in our customs. That's not in our culture. All right, it's actually known. All you gotta do is look it up. In the white man culture, always the women were able to go to war. All right, or like they always use them in some fronts of the war. When you go into the history of the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that's a no-no, right? Women don't go to war. Okay, so through this redefining that the white man has put on all our women, now we got a bunch of overbearing hyenas, right, that is programmed to go against their own men, all right, because believe it or not, they get more of a benefit in being against us than being in order. At least they think that, right? Let's get back to it real quick.
For the youngins, Snarf is a character off a show back in the days called the Thundercats. let's just get to the video.
Ladies, this one is for you. So we have thousands of you in our inbox and you're all looking for white men. Well, I'm going to tell you, don't date a white man just for status. A white man is not going to change your life. We are just the same as a black guy. A white man can be broke. A white guy can cheat. A white man can have a wife and pretend he is not married so he can have another girlfriend.
And let's pause it right there. They know this already. They're not stupid, right? Right. See, but this is a spiritual battle, because when you go into the whole history of the white man calling himself white, that all started in the 15th century. All right, and it came in a way because of his women not wanting to deal with him. That's what really happened when they came over here. When all those bottom feeders from Britain and all them came over here, it's just like at any other time. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man was more valued than the so-called white man. That's just how it always been in history. That's why they always had to come up with laws and over exaggerate when a black man dealt with a white woman, because that was their way of getting justified means to come after us as a whole. All right, but in actuality, it always been like that. It's like that now. It's like that now. Without the programming of the world, just 10 years ago, a black man with nothing can knock down the rich Edomite woman. That's how it always been. Ever since I was a kid, it was always like that. Okay, so we know really why this was pushed. Okay, because they couldn't defeat us. All right, they couldn't defeat us by strength. The Lord had to give them the power to take us in captivity, and they couldn't make our women desire them, because they're not better than us in no way, right? They're not bigger than us down there, right? They're not well off more of it, because we the ones who Jake, we the salt of the earth. Okay, so we got the swagger, we got the inventions, we got everything that you would need, right? So women gravitate to that, all right? And that's why we've been telling you, Jakes, fuck these so-called black women, all right? Because half of them are not even our people, even though they look like it. And we're going to get into that, okay? But this ain't nothing new, all right? I pulled up some information because somehow, some way, these black bitches be trying to get you to think that they was down for us during slavery, right? But all the slave movies, and when you really go into the history of what was going on these plantations, black women, especially if she was pretty, light-skinned, right? I remember one of the apostles did a video on this. I believe it was Apostle Har. He did a video on this because there was a group of the women that were like red bones, and they would go from different slave plantations for the masters, right? To get trains ran on them by the different white dudes at them times, right? So check this out. It says the historical content around slavery is complex, particularly in terms of the role of different individuals. During the transatlantic slave trade, black women often had unique and challenging positions. Their labor did not only involve work on plantation, but many also served personal, domestic, and sexual roles for slaveholders. You see, and that's what should be number one. That should be number one, and that's what they ain't gonna tell you. Okay, that's why I don't trust none of these black bitches. I hate y'all to the core. Y'all are not our people. Fuck you, bitches. Y'all don't have. One thing about them is they always try to now. I'm speaking upon now. They go on these shows and they talk as if they've been the ones that the whole that these other nations copied or something. Bitch, please. Like, black women never was the face of swag. All right, y'all never was the face of swag. Never. The only time that were the black women even start becoming a topic of discussion or even in this ballpark was through Tyler Perry, right? Around 2010 to 2005 and times like that. All right, when Tyler Perry started coming in and giving women more of an insight, right? More of a role to be funny and whatnot, right? But before then, black women were not Black women were only known for having the best vocals. That's about it. And they really weren't even holding that down, because when you go back to the 60s and the 70s, yes, you got women like Aretha Franklin. You know, you got your, what's her name? One of my favorite, Stephanie Mills. You know, you have women that is above, right? Above the rest. But when you go into that time frame, how many male groups did you have? How many male lead singers did you have that could sound like women and sound better than them at singing, right? It goes on and on and on, right? But that's just a small segment to what the narrative of the white man had always been trying to paint, right? Because they could never really outshine us or control our inventions. So what they did was, instead of just letting the so-called black man getting built up, what they did was they'll give that credit to the black woman, because they were still behind closed doors doing a job of a slave woman, right, to the white man. Okay, so don't let these hoes fool you. Okay, it says percentage of black women as worker, field hands versus domestic workers. While specific percentages vary by region and time period, it is generally understood that a significant number of enslaved black women worked alongside men in the fields. Estimate often indicates that it was around 60 to 70%. You see, and that's a lot. If they saying 60, it was about 40. It was about 50. Okay, the only women that was out there with the men were the ugly ones. Okay, of enslaved women were involved in field work, while others served as domestic help. And what do you think that they was doing? They even made movies about that, about the women, about black women cleaning the houses, but they men was able to have their way with them as well. And if they got pregnant, they just had to act like that it came from the black man. Okay, so again, I wanted to do a little history on this, because this ain't nothing new. You hoes been traders, man. You women, you so-called black women, has been traders, and y'all think that being a black man or black woman or Hispanic man or Hispanic woman, as they like to call us, comes from the way of the woman. The woman has nothing to do with that. She does not continue a legacy or a gene line. A woman is a walking incubator. All right, women were made for the man, not the man for the woman. They was made for our enjoyment. That's it. They're not made for, like, the world wasn't created for the woman, for her experience. None of that shit. Right? It makes no sense. They was a woman is like the second piece, but that second piece connect to four other ones. That's why they affect a man so much. But they are just a connection piece. They're not the piece. Okay, but this is Micah 7 and verse 10 real quick, right? It says, then she that is my enemy should see it, and shame should cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Right, man, because these women have their way in this world. Right now they're benefiting. Right now they're winning. Right now they don't have to do much and still get taken care of. Right. So while we're complaining and talking about that they're going to fall from this status, they be saying, "Oh shit, well, where your God at?" Because they believe in Jeebus, right? So-called white man, to where he forgive you for everything. When you come in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, that comes with order, and they don't like that at all. They don't like that. That's why when you get talking about really what's in the Bible, they don't like that a man can have more than one wife. Oh no, not my Jeebus. You see? So all you big ankle, big back, fucking, what they call that shit? You gotta take the sugar shots and shit. Diabetes infected ass women. Y'all gonna get exactly what you deserve in a minute. Okay, but it says, going back to Micah 7 and 10, it says, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes should behold her. Now should she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Right, man, because when we get beamed up in them spaceships, when we get beamed up in the chariots, if we those men, Lord willing that we are those men, and we keep enduring to the end, right? The same women that have put holy hell on the real true prophets, right? Because the prophets of the Lord, right, the men of the Lord, right, we stand focused, right, on the Lord. So a lot of us in our personal lives, we have been fucked over by women, right? Because we're not here to please her, right? Even though if you are in a relationship, right, you are supposed to spend time with your wife. Even the Bible says that. But when it comes to doing the work of the Lord, nothing comes before the work of the Lord, not even your wife or your kids. And sometimes women play on that. And sometimes women be wanting men of the Lord to decide or to choose between her and the Lord, right? And if you're and most of these men are not the men of the Lord, so they're going to choose their family. They're going to choose their flesh. They're going to choose what they see in front of them, right? But we're choosing the Heavenly Father because we know, right, that He can give us women that have never been touched, right? More beautiful than what we ever saw on this side with all the makeup times 10. Okay, we know the one who give us our family. We know the one who give us our wives, and that's the Heavenly Father. It ain't the wife. She don't have nothing to do with it. All right. So again, we waiting for this day to come to where we done did our job, and the Lord is beaming us up, right? And you same women who has talked shit about us, right? Who has decided to make our life a living hell any way you could possible, right? And that day you're going to regret it the most, right? Because when the missiles get shot up, right? And everybody over in America know they got 30 minutes into their ultimate destruction. You're not going to have anywhere to go, and that's going to be the exact same time where the man of the Lord is going to get beamed out of here. And all you people that have been doubting, second guessing, hoping that we're wrong, you're going to see our salvation. And guess what? We're going to see you. All you women that turned your back on the men of the Lord, right? Because we're trying to do the right thing. You trying to make it hard for us. All you type of women, okay? All right? And the scripture's here to prove that we're going to get the last laugh over you so-called black women, man.
So we can have another.
But what's even crazier is you hoes has never been desired. All right? It's the black man. The black man is the one who get chose by the other nations, right? We the ones who the other nations men want to be like us. They don't want to be like the black woman. All this shit started within the last 3 years with Cardi B now. Now all of a sudden y'all are rappers and all this other shit, right? You ain't even good at that. Okay? But I'm saying, like, where did all this, the black woman is like swag, that shit was never around. Like, the black woman was never the face of a image. It was always the black man. It's Jordans. It's not Jor. You know, it's not the female version of Jordans. It's the man. Nigga, we the ones who the other nations hate on. Nigga, it ain't the black woman. Bitch, y'all don't even... Anyway, Salaki.
Girlfriend. So we are exactly the same as the black race. So please do not come in my inbox saying you just want a white guy because you think your life will change by dating this white guy. It won't. A lot of white guys are broke. A lot of white guys are cheaters. So this is what I've come on here to say today to you ladies especially, because a lot of you are in our inbox and your life will not change just by dating a white guy. So thank you, take care, and we are going live in 10.
You see, and I get why you're laughing, because basically the so-called white man don't even want you bitches, right? Don't nobody want you hoes. You hoes are not women, man. You bitches are gorillas. On some real shit, you hoes are ghetto. You got that black ass dark ring around your eyes. You look like you've been smoking since day one, right? You fucking glued on hair, right? You talk like you a fucking sailor back in 1967. Half of y'all got big backs, knuckles all rough, hand all rough, right? You got charges. You ain't even got a good name. You can't even work at certain places, right? Don't nobody want you black bitches. You hoes have not preserved yourself from nothing, and now you look like a bunch of pieces of everything, right? So no, you bitches have had y'all way in this world right along with the so-called white man, because you're enemies just like he is, right? Just like he is. You don't want to see us back in our strength. You want to control our strength, okay? And another thing, you women don't determine the the bloodline, or as you would like to say, if you're black, okay, all right. If you black, don't have nothing to do with the color, right? Usually when they speak about black, they talk about the spirit that's in the person, which makes them an Israelite, right? That don't come from the mother. They come from the father and father only. Father and father only. Just like, I'm going to give you a prime example, right? Prime example before we get into scripture, right? Tia and Tamira, right? You would think that those are what? Black women, because especially with this sister Tia, right? She all out here acting ratchet and shit, acting like what they would think most black women should act like. But this is how the so-called white man been fooling us. Because what people fail to realize is Tia and Tamira are not black. They are white. Okay, their father is a white man. Their mother was black. This is how they always fooled us. This is why you have to go back to the Bible. They are not our people. And it's kind of strange that Tia been doing the most disrespecting of a black man. She was put on a public stage and was showing other women how to follow the pattern of belittling a black man. Now, who else throughout history has benefited on slave plantations for discriminating or for buck breaking a black man, the so-called white man? So he the one who do it now. He just send the women to do it because the women work for him, right? But beyond that psychological operation, you got to watch out for the ones that he put up there to be idolized by the black women. Because again, Tia and Tamira, father of them is white. So those in the Bible are called tares. And those are the people that is coming back in this time that we in now, that all of y'all think that a lot of people are black. They're not black. And that's why the angels is coming back to do the separation. And that's what we're about to get right now. Okay, but first we're going to get to show you that the race of a person has nothing to do with the mother. Has nothing to do with the mother at all. Okay, has nothing to do with the mother. That's why the elites, they know this, right? The white people who got money, they know this. That's why they don't allow people to marry into their marriage unless it's it's the man going to go get a wife. No other way. Okay, but when it comes to the regular people, y'all people really think that a woman having birth has something to do with the outcome of the baby. The only thing that woman has something to do with the outcome of the baby is probably the skin tone and the hair. That's it. All right. Numbers 1-18. And they assemble. Matter of fact, start 17. It says, and Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names, and they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigrees after their families. You see? So basically saying who this person is. Is they a Benjamite? Is they this? Is they Judah? How is they Judah? From their mother? No, because your father could be the so-called black man who got with a Puerto Rican chick, right? So you're not mixed. You're not mixed, right? You are the pedigree of your father, so you will be all your benefits will come from the Judah side, but you do have some Northern Kingdom, some Puerto Rican ways about you too. So you may like some Puerto Rican dishes. It may feel normal to you, but your pedigree is through your father, right? So how it go in our custom is if you was born of this group, if you was born, let's say Asher, right, and you wanted to get some plot of land for you and your wife, you would go to the high priest, and the high priest would go through your family lineage, and he would go find you some land. That's how it go. All right, but these are the ways of how it's supposed to be, not the ways of what you people have been indoctrinated to, because y'all think that you can live anywhere as long as you can afford it. No, that's not how they go. Certain people, it's supposed to be in certain lands. That's why when you go to certain places, it feels more magnificent than others, right? That because throughout the time we done lost where we supposed to be at, who's who, and these people are good for this land because they're naturally the Lord equip them with the personality to make this land prosper over here. That's why the Lord gave nations their own land, and we're going to get back to that. Even when we come into rulership, we're going to put y'all heathen nations into slavery for 1,000 years, but after that, they all gonna go to y'all respective land, bro. And that's why understanding the Bible is so important, because you don't get caught up in the drive-by, right? Right? You only stand focused in where you started and where you're going, and that's how it is in this truth, right? But anyway, it says, and they declared their pedigrees and their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. Right, man. So the pedigree and who you are as a person is brought there by the Father, man. And that's why the Lord say, go be fruitful and multiply, because you come back in the third or fourth generation. That's why it's very important for a man to have a son, because eventually he's going to come back through his son having the kid, and then his great grandson having the kid, and then that son having the kid, and then voila, he's coming back again. All right, but check this out. Pedigree on Google, it says the recorded ancestry, especially upper class ancestry of a person or family. Right, man. Right, man. And who's more upper class than the Israelites? Nobody else. Right? Who's more upper class than the people of the Lord? Nobody else. So this is how we determine who you are. And a lot of you women have been fed by the so-called white man to where you think that the one who didn't create you is the one who make up all the rules. Right? Right? But y'all are stupid, because y'all worship the creation more than the creator. And the Lord is going to burn you because of that. But anyway, let's continue on a little bit more.
So thank you, take care, and we are going live in 10 minutes.
Most people think they're intellectually gifted until they face questions like these. Honestly.
And another thing, this is why these scriptures like this is so important, because people want to know who to believe. They'll think that they mix and they'll think that the situation has went too far for the Lord to get correct. But the Lord knows who is everybody. All right, you can't confuse the Lord. You can't play that. What's that game? Not Russian roulette, but like they be playing it in like big cities where they take 3 cups, and then like they'll put a card on the cup, and then like he'll try his best to switch it around, and you got to pick it out, right, to win. You can't do that with the Lord, right? And that's what the so-called Edomites have been trying to do. The so-called white man has been trying to confuse the bloodline or the lineage of the people of the Lord. Right, but that's not going to happen, because you have to understand, before the white man was allowed to take us into captivity, it was already written by the Lord that we was going to be scattered. So us being scattered and us being the lost tribe, the lost 12 tribe of the nation of Israel, wasn't by the white man idea. That was brought to you by the Lord. Okay, so he know the confusion, right? And he gonna be the one that's gonna send the angels, right, to put things back in order. All right, Matthew 13, we're gonna go to verse 39 real quick, straight to the point. It says, the enemy that sold them, matter of fact, I start up verse 38. It says, the field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one, right? Right? So the good seed is what? It's the Israelites, right? And the tares are the children of the wicked ones, right? What's that word tares, right? It could be also used as what? As one that look like us, but on their father's side, okay? Because again, they did this back in the Greek time too, as well. All right, the Edomites always knew this. That's why it wasn't a big deal for the white man to enslave a black woman slave. Okay, because that child that came out was a devil too. That was a seed of the devil. You see, but what would happen if the slave had sex with one of the white chicks? That nigga got put to death, right? Him and her and the baby, right? because they knew that baby may come out light skinned, looking like Blake Griffin, but that nigga's a nigga, right? It says the enemy that sold them is the devil, and the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. Okay, as therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fires, so should it be at the end of the world. Right, man. So all you so-called black women that have babies by these heathen nations, right? These Asians, these white people, women like Venus Aurelius. If that dude that she married, because I think he's an Edomite. He looked like he could be Northern Kingdom. He looked like he could be one of the Spanish tribes, but I think he an Edomite, right? And if that's true, you see, she's going to be destroyed. The kid's going to be destroyed because the Lord is coming back to set his people free. He's not coming back for no more confusion. No more of you heathens is about to be able to have the children of Israel in subjection. No more. All right? No more. Okay? And so you playing these trickery games, having babies by our enemies and all this and all that shit ain't gonna work no more. All right? Because when you go back to the Israelite history, our women are not even allowed to even date outside of an Israelite. They can't even have sex with a heathen. That's why it's very important for you to go read about when Jacob and his brothers, right? Read about one of our foremothers, Dinah, right? And what happened to her when the heathen man tried to take her. All right? We didn't play that shit. We don't play that shit. Okay?
So thank you, take care, and we are going live in 10 minutes.
By a black woman recently.
And another thing, in that Matthew 13 and 39, right, it says the enemy that sold them is the devil, right? And that's one of the main points, right? Because at that time, it was what? It was during the time of slavery, right? Right, because that's when they had our people and our women under subjection, right? They could do whatever they will to them, okay? Because we was properties of them. So being properties, what do you think the white men were doing with our women? They was busting them down left and right and left and right. A lot of them fell in love with our women, right? All you gotta do is go into the history, right? A lot of them fell in love with our women, and then a lot of times their wives are found out, and then they'll pick a slave to keep to themselves, right? But then the white man will end up finding out, and then he'll want to go kill the black slave, but he want to keep his side piece and his wife happy, okay? So this is how they get down, right? But the point of this video is you so-called black women have never been on our side, okay? And you can fool the black man, the Negro man, the Latino man that is not up on game, right? That is not letting the Bible teach them, all right? And so they've been taught by their mamas and their grandmamas, the same ones that been since they've been here, right? Y'all are not the prize, man. It's just right now, this world that we live in is for many, right? It's for these 2/3 of our people. It's for the wicked of our people. This world is for the heathens, right? But the world to come is for few, all right? Because it's going to be for the men of the Lord, right? And the Israelites. That's it. Okay, so right now is a time for the wicked women of our nation to have their fun, but it's going to come with a penalty, right? And that penalty is what? You're going to get left here and burnt right along with the wicked. You partying with them, you're going to die with them, basically.
By a black woman recently.
Hold on. Oh, he must have a jacuzzi. This.
Not because of who I am, because I'm actually a person. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not I really don't think I'm a great individual. I messed up a lot in my life, and I regret it. And though I'm trying to improve, I'm in no way worthy of this kind of flattery. I'm not deserving of anything like it. And the whole thing was
And
because
it's basically going into how black women would work for the white man. She would do everything for the white man, but when it comes to the black man, he got to have this, and that, this, and that. You see? But that goes to show you that these women are really under a psychological program. They look at white man as the god, right? Right? That level of witchcraft still works on them because a lot of our women are indulged in witchcraft. A lot of them are witches. So they're easily fooled. They're 10 times fooled because they think that they're benefiting. Okay, but the white man coming out and saying, bro, I ain't no better. I ain't none of that. Actually, I'm even worse. You see? So these women that are over here playing this game, they don't understand that their demise is already written about. They just waiting on the day with the Lord for the Lord to punch their ticket. They think this shit is a game, right? When the white man is telling you, oh man, we're not even better than your man. Why you over here? We ain't got no money for you. We ain't got this for you. We ain't got this for you. And the crazy part about it is don't nobody want the black woman. Everybody looking for a white bitch, a Chinese bitch. Don't nobody want the black bitch, man. Like, even the white man don't want you. Like, he looking for his own women. Like, what the fuck? They over here fucking with the black man. It's like, bro, it's like every day these whores try to come up and force the black man to put up with their bullshit as if this is 1993. No, Waiting to Exhale, Vivica, Fox, and all these other women from that time frame that really started this shit. All them fucking old witches. Angela Bassett, old ugly ass. I hate that person now. I hate a fucking black woman with that attitude like that. I really hate that. That goes down to my core. I really hate women who talk to you like they're your parents. I hate that shit. Like, ugh. But anyway, you hoes gonna get served some real nice, man. All right, man. Because again, we know that you bitches are enemies. Y'all ain't never been on our side. Fuck what they talking about, right? Cyrac, which also is Ecclesiastes, right? 23, and we're gonna end it off on here. All right. It makes me so mad. I don't even bring it out how I planned on to, but Salakia, I pray it's still edifying, right? But check this out. Ecclesiastes 23 and 18. A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. Meaning that a man who sleep with another man's wife and they do it sneakily, talking about can nobody see us, right? The walls cover me and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High when I remember my sins. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. You see? And that's what I'm saying. So the Lord has already considered all you black bitches who done did your man wrong. You have already been considered. So 9 times out of 10, you're dancing a couple of days before you about to be destroyed. Because again, the second judgment is coming upon the whole world. He is about to try the whole world. So this ain't no more about to be whenever your death day is when it happened. No. It's about to be Jacob's trouble, baby. A lot of y'all about to go. This ain't about to be he about to let you just live it out and then like die in your own timeline. No. This is about to be the time of Jacob's trouble because he's on his way back. He's about to send his son back. So this world have to be flattened. This empire got to be flattened. It can't be here when the Lord get back here. All right? It can't stand while the Lord is about to build righteousness. Okay? Your opinions can't matter when the one who gave you opinions is about to be back here. No. All right? But it says he knew all things ere ever they were created. So also after they are perfected, he looked upon them all. This man should be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspecteth not, he should be taken. Right, man. So that goes to show you that, right, that the wickedness and the adulterousness of our people are totally out of pocket, because now our people have made this right here, sleeping with another man's wife, a part of their culture, the nigga culture, right? Every song, fuck your bitch, and Even all the female rappers. I fuck your man. He gone. You see, don't nobody else promote this type of debauchery but the so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans. That's how you know that we are those people. We are those people. We are the peoples that without the Lord law, without really implementing the Bible in our communities, we get destroyed beyond any other nations of people. Because again, they are here without the law. So them being a bunch of freaks is not too far from them. So they don't get taken away with that. But you so-called Negroes, Latino, Native Americans, when you play parts in these freakos and all these other things, you put on the weight of the world. And so it does so-called Negro, Latino, Native American 10 times worse than what it do these heathen nations, because the law was given to us to follow. It wasn't given to these heathen nations to follow. They supposed to look at us and look at the benefits, right? But what we do is we look at them and we look at their benefits, and then we try to copy them, and then we end up becoming worse and worse and worse, because that's not for us. What they have is not for us, and what we have is only for us. You see? But it says, thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. You see, so all you baby mama culture ass women who think that God is with that, the Lord is not with that, you supposed to got stoned to death. That's what the Lord say. You supposed to been dead, bitch. I don't even understand how that makes sense. If it's my pedigree, if it's my fucking line, why do the women got control over my seed? Because that's the white man way. That is not the way of all culture. If a woman left and like it need to be for one, she could just leave. But if it need to be, if it whatever, right? She would leave that kid and she would leave with nothing. She would leave with nothing because the seed is mine. It come out of my balls. It come out of my balls. It just needs your egg to become somebody. But the seed is still mine. And that's why nothing in this world has gone correctly, because these people have strategically made a law to break up our household and then give the power to the one who ain't supposed to have the power. The only one in the house who can't handle the shotgun, the white man give the shotgun to that motherfucker. And that's the so-called black woman, man. And now this bitch has shot holes through the whole house, right? And now our whole foundation as a nation has been fractured, man, because the black woman has seized the keys to this car. You see? So hell no, you black bitches are going to pay, right? You black bitches are going to pay. And guess what? Even the enemy don't even want y'all, bro. They don't even want y'all. You brother need to go back and watch this video, bro. It's hella funny. He come out with some points. The white dudes are going in on these black bitches talking about we don't want you. Fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? But it says, verse 25, her children should not take root, and her branches should not bring forth no fruit. She should leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach should not be blotted out. Right, man. So basically what the Lord is saying is all you women that have brung in different men seeds, y'all are good for nothing. You supposed to get stoned to death too. And let the memory of you only be remembered as a bitch who need to be corrected. That's how the Lord deal. Okay? And so guess what? We going back to that. So all you women who somehow think that the Lord feels some type of way about a woman having a baby and all this shit, he doesn't. He doesn't. Matter of fact, he feel like us, but 10 times more about you bitches trading on your own men. All right, so with that, I pray the lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom, y'all.